video is going to be a how-to Christmas party makeup. It's really fun and glittery and festive, and it's really easy to recreate. So, as you can see, I've already done the brow and prepped the lid with MAC Pro Wear Concealer and NW15. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the brow bone with MAC Nylon Eyeshadow using a Zoeva 234 brush. For my transition colour, I'm going to use MAC Mineralised Skin Finish in Dark Tan. I'm going to use the MAC 217 brush. Doing a spotlight look, we're going to start in the middle with the bronzer, and then you want to spread the eyeshadow out evenly in both corners. You just want to create a nice round shape, and you don't want to take it out too far. Blush out of the fan. Oh my god, I can't get it out of the fan, I don't know what it's called. Oh my god. So for my next two shades, I'm going to use two blushes from MAC, Blush Baby and Melba. And they're both quite pinky, just going to give it a nice like orangey pink tone. Follow exactly the same path as we've done with the transition shade, starting in the middle. I'm just going to go in with a clean blending brush now and just blend both of them colours. I'm going to go in now with a shade from the Morphe 35O palette, the really warm orangey shades. I'm going to use the same brush, the MAC 217, but I'm just going to do the movement a little bit smaller. I feel like the Morphe colours are very pigmented, like you need to tap off as much excess as possible, and it's always a good idea to definitely have a clean brush just in case there's too much product, because you can just buff it out. You're going to want to go in with a pencil brush, and I'm going to take the blush Frankly Scarlet from MAC. The reason why you're going to use a smaller brush for this is because you don't want it to be too much. This is just to sort of like add a little bit of depth. And again, you're going to start in the middle and blend it to both sides. As you keep adding a darker colour, you're just going to want to make the movements a little bit smaller so that you can see all the different tones when it'll be your darkest shade will blend into your lightest shade. You're going to go in now with the same pencil brush, and you're just going to use this sort of chocolate brown shade from the Morphe 35P palette, and I'm going to mix it with Swiss Chocolate from MAC. I feel like Swiss Chocolate has got more of a reddy tone to it, but it's not quite dark enough, so I'm going to mix it with this dark brown. And again, you're going to keep this nice and small. You're just going to add a little bit of a taster of the colour to it rather than going full pink and orange smudge. I want to go a little bit darker, so I'm just going to add MAC Embark now, which is just like a really dark brown. And I'm going to go in for an even smaller pencil brush now. I literally just want a little bit of this really. We're going to start creating the spotlight now, so I'm going to use the paint pot from MAC called Painterly, and it's quite neutral, but it's got a little bit more of a pink tone to it because we're going to be doing like rose golds and pinks. I'm just patting this on with a MAC 252. Once you're happy with the shape of your spotlight, you're just going to go in with your really small pencil brush and your darkest shade, which was Embark, and you're just going to blend the edges just a little bit. I'm just going to use normal eyelash glue, use Certified Rose Gold glitter. Just going to pat the glue on with my finger because I feel like it ruins your brushes. One tip when you're working with glitter is to start in the middle. If you don't want it to look too harsh, if you want it to be like a spotlight sort of, where it's just sort of like fades in and out, if you start in the middle and then put the least product on the corners, that'll give you the best look as well. Moving on to the liner now. With the spotlight eye, I usually prefer to not do a wing just because this changes the shape of the look I'm going for. I'm just going to do a line straight across the lash line and then just smudge it out a little bit so it's not too neat. Just using Maybelline gel liner, and the brush I'm using is the MAC 208 and it's just an angled brush. Just going to start in the middle because I'm not doing a wing. You want the thickest point to be in the middle, you don't want it to be too blocky on the edges. I'm just going to set it with Urban Decay Black Eye eyeshadow because I feel like this just makes it even darker and it makes it matte. Take your MAC 252 again and just get a little bit of concealer on and just take it right up to the lash line. I'm going to go back to the 217 and I'm going to skip my transition shade and just go straight into using the two blushes that I used at first, which were Melba and Blush Baby. Just smoke your shadow out underneath, and then just with some really light pressure you just want to make a C shape around the edge of the eye just to sort of like finish that off. You're going to go back in with your pencil brush with the orange shade from the Morphe 35O palette and just take that right up to the lash line, and then get your blending brush again and just blend that out. And then in with the Frankly Scarlet blush from MAC. You're going to take it tighter and tighter to the lash line every time you put a darker shade on so that you can still see all the colours blending into each other. And then you're going to go in with your smallest brush. You're going to go back in with Swiss chocolate. And I'm going to put Graph Black from MAC, which is a waterproof eyeliner, in the waterline and then smudge that out. So we've applied the lashes and the mascara, and now we're just going to clean it up again with just a blending brush, and I'm using MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NW15. You just want to buff it out, you want to start underneath where you need to be and then gradually bring it up, otherwise it'll just be too harsh. You want it to be nice and blended. I'm now going to use Light Boost from MAC in the Prep and Prime section. And I'm just going to put this a little bit underneath where I've done concealer, so you don't want to take it right onto the eye. And then you're just going to get a clean blending brush and just buff it. It just adds like a little bit of a glow to underneath your eye. For the foundation I'm using MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NC20. This is going to be a little bit dark on Hannah, but we wanted to bronze her up and she's not wearing any fake tan. So the brush I'm using is MAC 187, I think. What did I say? Yeah, 187. I can't even tell I've used it that much. I've rubbed the number off. But basically it's a dual fibre brush, you can get them in loads of places. I like this one from MAC. The only problem I would say is that it sheds quite a bit. But I haven't tried any others yet to compare it. So you've done your foundation now and you're going to set under the eyes with a translucent powder. And you always set under the eyes first because that's the first to crease. This is just Illamasqua translucent powder, I think. I'm then just going to set the rest of the face with a mineralised skin finish from MAC in medium golden. And I'm just going to use a big fluffy brush because I don't need this to be too neat. I just need to buff it all over the face. Contour, I'm just going to use the Peaches and Cream sculpting powder in light to medium. It looks like a really strange colour. It's like quite taupe, really. Like you'd expect a bronzer to be more bronzy. I don't know what it's called. But you know what I mean. It would be more like golden. But this, you just want to put it right under your cheekbones and it just creates like a shadow. And I'm going to use the Zoeva 105 Luxe highlight brush. I'm not going to highlight with it. But I feel like it fits right underneath your cheekbone perfectly to create that shadow. And then you're going to go on top of this with another mineralised skin finish in dark golden. Just all around the edges of the face lightly. I do like to use more than one bronzer. Like I'll use this one because it's a bit subtle, and then I'm going to go in with like a darker one. The blusher I'm going to use is Melba from MAC, which I did use on the eyes, and I do like to use sort of like the same blushers and bronzers that I've used on the eyes on the face because it just ties all the whole look in together. I'm just going to put this on with the Luxe Cheek Finish brush from Zoeva. To highlight the cheekbones and down the nose and the cupid's bow, I'm going to use a few different ones actually, but this one is the High Pigment Wet and Dry eyeshadow from Kiko, and it is number 17. It's just like a really gold shade, and you can use it obviously wet and dry. If you use it wet, it's going to be more, what's the word? It's going to be more, what's the word? It's going to be like, it's not going to be as subtle. Like it's going to be more subtle if you just use it dry, and then if you use it wet, it'll stand out more. That's what I'm trying to say, it'll stand out more. This is OMG Beyond Powder from Illamasqua. This is my favourite highlighter in the world. I use it on every makeup, on every person. It suits everyone. This is a pure pigment from Illamasqua and it's in shade Furore, and I like to just add this on the very highest points of the face because it is like really intense. Just going to do a nude lip just because the eyes are quite colourful, so you want to keep everything else neutral. And I'm going to use Prolonged Wear Lip Pencil in Electra from MAC. The gloss I'm going to add on top is Opulent Sheer Lip Gloss from Illamasqua, and it's got like, it's a little bit glittery this, and it's quite iridescent, but it's like one of my favourite lip glosses. Just to finish it off, I'm just going to go back over the highlight on my brow bone and inner corner. There we go.